Hi, flosstube. This is Wistful, or Donna, in New Zealand, and I'm finally back, and hopefully the lighting isn't too bad. It's been a long while since I did a last flosstube. It's probably close to 3.5, 4 months, but I've been away up north in England and beyond, and I'm finally back in New Zealand. So I'm going to call this one finally another floss tube, the good and bad of it. Because traveling when you're that far away is quite a challenge with cross stitch. So this will be a bit disorganized, but I really wanted to get it out there so that I could get on with normalcy. Still surviving. We got back home on Wednesday. It's now Sunday, so it's that long. So I'm still going through jet lag. So it shouldn't be too bad, but hopefully I've got a big pile. But first of all, doing cross stitch and needlework when you're far away is quite difficult, and I've learned a lot about what not to do and what to do, and about shopping and that sort of thing. So I'll just go straight into it. I took about 4 different projects, much of which I didn't do too much. So I'll just, and I started some new ones, of course, knowing me. So I got a lot of magazines because they've got oh God, I get the one that isn't open. This is Cross Stitcher, the English one, and love it. Absolutely love it. And they give you little doohickeys. A lot of the needlework magazines have these little inserts, and some are good and some are not too bad. So I found some of the projects I liked last year. The year before I went, and when it was coming near the time to go home, I was ripping pages out and doing it that way. So this year I just got lazy and just stuck them in the suitcase and figured I'd do it that way. So I'll just start in with the projects that I liked. And this one is called, well, I'm a bit confused. It's either Home Truths, but what it is House Rules. I've got grandkids, so I thought this would be good if I made up 2 of them, of course. So I just barely started on it, and due to time, just didn't do much at all. That's on 14 count Ada and just DMC. So, but that was fun, and I love the things on it. Like, if you borrow it, give it back. If you spill it, wipe it up. It's really cool. And then I also had fun teaching my eldest granddaughter to cross stitch, or to start with embroidery. So Mom doesn't even have a sewing machine. So I brought stuff back. This is upside down. But that's her embroidery. So I'm just going to do a square. Yeah. Being prepared. And she just didn't know blood was drawn. So really enjoyed it. I let her choose the DMC. I let her do the stitching, and boy, the concentration, it was just fabulous. So I'm going to finish that off into a square, do a bit of a braid so she can hang it up in her room. And that's one of my projects, and then I'll have a finally finished object. And well, no, partially, but it's not mine. Then one of the things that I took with me was Bothy Threads, let's see, Magical, Cut Through Magical School. I'm with the Magical School of Stitches and Needlework, which I didn't do much while I was away, so I'm going to get back into that again. But I enjoyed that, and that was fun, and that was relaxing. But honestly, I had a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old that was potty training, so I didn't have too much time. And it was very interesting, to and from kindy and lessons and dance and traveling and going on trips. And it's life. Then another project I took is Linen and Threads mystery sampler. This is the 2019 one. It's the peacock one that a lot of people are doing. And I just decided to do my colors. And so this is my peacock. And he's quite pretty. It's just on 32 count Lagana. And it's just I'm just letting it sing to me. And I'm just getting out colored pencils and doing what I want. So we've got black swans, like I say, that are down here in around by Lake Taupo. And so I decided he needed a girlfriend, so I did a colored one and white one. And I'm just enjoying that. And that's fun. I don't know if I'll do a multicolored one next year. But we'll see. Then I also did, talking about good and bad, I had my year at Hawk Run Hollow. Now I'm way behind this. I got this and it's on 32 count Lagana. And I've made a fair bit of progress. But, and I'll tell you the but in a minute, this is what I've done so far. And I grid, which should be very helpful. But I don't know if you can see, there are 12. So there's 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and there's the end. So there wasn't enough. There wasn't enough. But I had more at home. So I'm going to be looking at joining it to the bottom, stuff it. There's no way I'm doing this again. I am not going to do it again. I am going to join it somehow, and I may even write, and then there's the rest of the year, and I've got enough to finish it with the final squares. So that was a blessing. I found that. I had saved this and decided to put that in the Christmas ornament piles and stuff the Christmas ornament. It's going to finish off this project. So I'm really pleased. That was found today, but I've made pretty good progress. This is I love these samplers of Hawk Run Hollow. I've got all of them, and I've started all of them, hopefully all right. I'll double check them as I go through. And they are fun. They're very whimsical and a lot of fun. So that's enough fun talk. Then I have the Truth Sampler. This is by somebody, Marion Roher. It's, let me see if I can find out. It was one that I sent for ages ago, and I started it, and didn't do too much on it. But it's got all sorts of very different stitches. So it's a fun one. This one is just, I like the sayings on it, which I think is important if you're doing needlework. Don't spend your time doing needlework on something that you don't enjoy, because it's totally gut-wrenching. I don't know how these people do commission on things that they don't like. There's no way I do it. Okay, husband's just discovered that that the battery's running on one of the vehicles, so that's great. I'm doing a floss tube. I'm doing a floss tube. And then I got a Deal design. We went to Deal, and he's gone all silent now. And I got this. It's 15. Needlework is expensive in England. but that was 50, nearly 55 pounds. So I got that, and I haven't started that, so that's part of my stash. And then I did a little bit of shopping here and there, so I'll just quickly go through some of it. I'll start with the Harry Potter stuff, because I did go to the making of Harry Potter, because I'm part of Magical School. I'm a Harry Potter nut. Part of Magical School of Stitches and Needlework, so went to the Warner Brothers studio tour. So I've got the book, but it was so much fun. Oh, God. So I didn't go too nuts. I got me a tea towel so I can see that when I do the dishes. I did get a wand. It's the only one that sung to me. I didn't want to get the one that lit up, mainly because I couldn't do it. So I got a Hermione Granger one, which is an ink pen so I can write. Oh, the mighty sword, the mighty wand. So I'm going to have fun with that. That's Donna's toy. And then I am part of the Slytherin group, so I got a couple books. I got some stationery, Harry Potter. Things to sort out my life. Christmas ornament, because I'm a Slytherin. And a book. And I don't know if I could use this next year. This is the Forbidden Forest. It's just a journal book. And I thought that was cool. And then I did some stuff that wasn't Harry Potter related. I am doing the Kings and Queens by Bothy Threads, but it was at home and I didn't take it with me. But I happened to see these. That's just a magnet, so I can use that as a ruler. And that's just a notebook. Very simple. And discovered, I got Hands Across the Sea. I love these. I know. Yeah, as if I don't have enough to do. This one I think is beautiful. It's Mary Lee, 1793. I have not started it. And Elizabeth Weston. I may have shown this before I left. I think I got it just before I left. So I'm very pleased with those. And those are beautiful. But I'm going to have to work on a few things because I've got a few on the way, in progress. And then I went, okay, talking about the good and the bad of it, went, did a 2-day train trip. Well, no, spent 2 nights in Cambridge. Went to the Fitzwilliam. I did not organize it ahead of time. Because I've been there before, and I looked at a lot of the samplers. So I thought I'd see some of the samplers that I'm working on, because they've got quite a few actually stored there. It was very unfortunate, because the big show that they had stopped in January. Well, I wasn't there in January, and I went all the way from New Zealand. And I did not organize it ahead of time because I didn't know when I would be available to go. Went there. There was nobody there to show the samplers at all. The person did not work that day and could not. And there is no permanent display of embroidery samplers. I did see some Egyptian pieces, and I saw some stuff, a little bit of ecclesiastical embroidery, one item. Otherwise, there was nothing displayed in the whole flippin' museum. I was gutted on the first day, absolutely gutted. They were very kind because they could tell I was quite distressed, and one of the guys in the shop, he did show me the book, and I thought to myself, well, blast it, You know, that's £20. Not a bad price for that. And it's a good book. And I've got other ones that show more. And then I wrote, you know, a couple emails. And when I got back to London, received a nice little letter saying that they apologized, and if I'd care to make an appointment and come again, it would be fine. And I thought to myself, well, there's no way I could organize that with hubby again. We'll see. But it was unfortunate. Possibly could have been avoided, but then I don't know if I would have been free on the day and that sort of thing when you're traveling that distance. So I would suggest that if you actually want to see any of that stuff, that you do make an appointment and do it well in advance. It's great if you live in England or you're situated there, but like even coming from London to there it takes a bit of time. Unless you're driving a car. A lot of us that travel overseas do the mass transit, which is lovely, and it does work, but it can be cumbersome. Anyway, we got there, and we coped with it. So that's me. That's pretty much what I'm doing. Mainly just focusing on getting over the jet lag and getting back into it. We just had the other grandkids just arrive and spend one night, so we had to move everything out of the sewing room, and then I've just moved it back in to do the filming, and now I can start actually doing some of the needlework. I probably won't. We've still got some organizing and stuff to do. I'm gonna do more focus stitching probably for a while, and not do as many of the projects all at once. I think I'll work on the Yipee Hawkrun Hollow now that I know that it's not going to be a complete disaster, and my peacock. I've got some other things. I did start the stitch challenge, but I think that's just not going to happen. My one item I completed was a coaster. But I'm still having a lot of fun with the needlework. I've had the joy of seeing a lot of different ones that other people have done. I still enjoy the process of doing it. And I'm still ordering stuff and getting things. So I've got so many floss tubes to catch up on that it's absolutely mad. So I'll probably just put a limit on those and watch from a certain point. So I appreciate anyone who has subscribed, and thank you. And thank you for your comments, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to get back. I do want to work on the Laura Standish, and of course my Sarah Brazia and some of the others, but some of the others I may have to just, so let's see, Sarah Brazia, Yipee Hawkrun Hollow, Linen and Threads, the peacock, those are the main ones I'm going to focus on. I know that, oh, and Laura Standish. I'd like to get that accomplished. So, and doing the School of Magical Stitches, I'm just going to do part of them there, part of the requirements. I'll try and do the homework, but there are just so many things, especially with being away a while, that I just need to do, and they require time, may require traveling. So it'll be kind of hard to do things on a very tight schedule. Anyway, I am back full of vim and vigor to get going. So I hope everybody has had happy stitching and has taken it easy. We did have an earthquake while I was away, and I had a few little items fall off, but luckily we did exceedingly well and didn't have any damage to say. You know, things like one picture frame had glass in it, and it fell and it shattered and broke, and so that's pretty minor. So we came out fairly good. We had friends that had somebody whose water heater burst, somebody else that their china cabinet fell over with all their goodies and just smashed. Our bookcases, which are loaded right to the hilt, stayed, probably due to the sheer weight. And the other things, I was incredibly fortunate. So hope you're all good. We have, I've had a lot of fun. So I hope you're all good and keeping well, and keep up the stitching. And hopefully it won't be another 4 months before I get back. Take care. Okay? Bye.